Erin Conron. I'm a glass artist based in Berrydale. I was trained in Canberra at the ANU, Canberra School of Art, graduating in 2008. I've been working with glass on and off since then, trying to maintain a practice whilst also running a business and being a full-time art teacher and having a family and doing all of those things. So I guess I've been successful at managing to maintain a practice. I'm really excited to be up here on the Sunshine Coast now, developing a studio in Berrydale where I'm hoping to be able to teach and have a hot glass practice and keep doing what I'm doing. Winning the 3D Art Prize was a really wonderful surprise. I was just so excited to be accepted into the award this year, to be on display with so many amazing local artists. I guess for me the best thing about winning the prize is really just being able to be a part of the amazing community here on the Sunshine Coast. In particular, just getting to meet some of the other artists and really understand their processes and what they're doing and how they're creating their work, and just having that exposure to that wonderful community. It's been great. Yeah, I guess, it was a bit surprising. My hands were definitely shaking when I went up there to to accept my award. But I guess it's just a really beautiful recognition of the work and the time that I've put in there. The judge, Claire, actually studied in Canberra, so she was familiar with the glass community there, and I guess the teachers and the people that I worked with really closely. So it was really nice to have someone who understands the history and the work that goes into making glass, because it is quite an unusual or uncommon medium for people to know much about. You have to develop a little bit of a thick skin with the art prizes. I've had many, many more rejections than I've had successes, but I think you learn a lot. Asking for feedback is a really helpful tool as well, and also just remembering that every art prize is very subjective and it's really up to what the judges like on the day, and it's not really a reflection on you or that your art is not good. You just have to keep going and you'll get there. So I work primarily with clear glass. The reason for that is I like to view glass more as a structure or a support for the surface design that I create. And through the clarity of the glass, I'm actually able to layer multiple layers of pattern. Usually it's lines, really closely spaced, hand-drawn lines. And the reason that I use that, there's a couple of reasons. One of them is the optical effects that can create. So it creates the illusion of a pattern called moire, which is a French word, which basically describes the movement and distortion that can happen when you layer parallel lines in that way. The other thing that I really like to achieve is this play with perception. So I'm looking at transferring two-dimensionality into three-dimensionality, and how drawings of flat shapes can become forms when we wrap them around an object, and it can change the way that we perceive the shape of an object. I'm really interested in ideas of the cycles and rhythms of life, of everyday life, and how our personality is kind of created through these small, daily, repeated actions. And I reference that a lot in the patterns that I create on my work. And I guess I'm really talking about that connection between our interior world and our exterior world. And I really try to play with that interaction between the two in the work that I make. So I first became introduced to glass by my wonderful grandmother, Erin Conron, who was an artist in Canberra. She used to do stained glass windows, she was a painter, and then she started making glass beads on a little flame, a little torch in her garage. So she took me under her wing in my teenage years, and I used to just go and hang out with her in her studio, and she taught me all about melting glass, making glass beads, and that kind of got me really fascinated with the material. Making glass beads is a great introduction to working with glass because it's very small, it's very safe, and you get to see the glass really do its thing. So it melts right in front of your eyes, and it's a fairly immediate way of working with glass. Beyond that, I then applied to go to the ANU School of Art and study glass, and I was successful. My second attempt at applying, I didn't get in the first time. I actually went and studied ceramics for a year, which was a really great addition to my knowledge of working three-dimensionally and working with kilns and different materials and that sort of thing. And I actually think that my work with ceramics has led me to the kind of glass that I make, because I'm really interested in the texture and the surface of the glass, rather so much than really bright, shiny, colourful glass, which I think a lot of people think about when they think about blown glass. So studying at the ANU is a real privilege, I would say. The glass workshop there is very small. It's a very wonderful, tight-knit community. When I was in Canberra studying glass, there was only 4 people in my year level. So it is a very, very small, very close community. We're really lucky in Canberra to now have the Canberra Glassworks, which is a wonderful artist access facility where people can graduate from the ANU and stay local, stay in Canberra and keep making art, keep making glass more specifically. There's a hot shop there and full access of kilns, cold working, all of the equipment needed. Because one of the things about working with glass is that you just need so much specialised equipment and technical knowledge to keep that equipment working. So having the support of Canberra Glassworks is really wonderful. Yeah, being up here in Queensland now, it's really different. I think down in Canberra, I'm a little fish in a really big pond of glass artists, but up here there's not so many of us, which is actually great in some ways, because I guess it's really nice to be able to introduce that a bit more to the local community. There are a few glassies hidden around the place, like Jonathan, who was also in the prize. So yeah, it's really wonderful to be up here on the sunny coast, trying to establish a bit more of a glass scene. For anyone that's interested in doing art, I think it can be a really wonderful career. Often artists need to be really savvy business people as well, and I think that's maybe something that doesn't always come naturally to us artists. We'd rather hide away in our studios and let the art do the speaking. But I do think now it's really important to have that confidence to put yourself out there. So I think entering prizes is a really great thing to do, not only to get exposure for your work, but also to make connections with the local community, and that can lead to other opportunities. So I definitely would encourage anyone to pursue a creative career. Often it goes hand in hand with other things, but if you study something that is complementary to your creative interest, then you can have a really wonderful career from it. So for me, really now the focus is on getting our studio up and running. My wonderful husband is also a glass maker and a glass blower, so we have a goal to get our studio fully functioning and be able to offer hot glass here on the Sunshine Coast, which is not currently available for public access. We'd love to be able to teach and really share the knowledge that we have. I think because glass is something that is pretty rare and it's pretty hard to learn unless you are in a specified university course. So we're really keen to just carry on the tradition of the craft and yeah, teach and share and support artists locally and continue our own practice.